So if you're a business owner or an executive, or you're just trying to look at ways to improve your performance, then often you have now increasingly more and more access to people that can help you. So we know that building developmental relationships are really, really important. Yes, we can learn from experience, that's vital. Yes, we can take on formal education, but often having a strong and clear developmental relationship with someone can really then maximize both your learning from experience and any sort of formal training. So I always advise clients or people I work with to really think about those three things: your formal education, how do you invest in your own skills and development, how do you access learning from experiences, but importantly, how do you get those kind of developmental relationships in place. And there are lots of different types of developmental relationships you can have, and coaching is one of them. So I thought in this video I'd talk through maybe 3 or 4 different kinds of relationships you can have, and maybe help advise as to where is the best place to go for your particular need. So let's start with coaching. So we talked about coaching as really being this idea of it's a partnership, it's a thought-provoking relationship designed to create a sort of creative process of exploration where, as a coach, you're supporting your client to unlock their potential and achieve their goals. And I guess the driving mindset for coaching is the belief that the client is capable. So you've got to believe that the client's capable. So by definition, coaching is very much about working with the client to look at their issues and challenges. And really, it's a process of moving forward towards goals. It's not about giving the client technical advice or giving them the answers. The coach's belief is that the client has all the answers they need. The coach is there really to help support them through that process. And that could be about removing self-imposed barriers in their mind, or helping them get clearer on a plan or a course of action, or how they can create routines to better stick to their plans. So you think about this coaching as where the client is capable. Now, if you take mentoring as an example, and often I'm asked sometimes to be a coach, but sometimes to be a mentor. If I'm asked to be a mentor, though, really it's very different, because a mentor really is being brought in because you've got a set of technical skills or experiences, you've got a playbook or a set of skill sets that the mentee wants to acquire. So by definition, it's not a belief that the client is capable. Actually, the belief is the client is potentially missing something or can get additional value from the mentor. And the mentor there really then is the guide at your side. It's the person there who's showing you the way and showing them certainly how they've approached things. And that's often a really good reason. If people are new in roles or are approaching a new challenge, having someone who's trod that path in the past can be incredibly useful. That doesn't mean there's not some elements of sort of coaching type conversations, but a mentor has a very different relationship indeed to a coach. And similarly, there are different, it's a different kind of partnership. And as a mentor, I often learn a lot from the clients that I mentee. But my role as the mentor then is really to help them solve some very specific challenges, give them some new abilities or skills or insights. And it's my knowledge and experience that is requested, not my expertise in terms of a coach. The third area in terms of you may get developmental support might be the idea of an advisor or a consultant. Now, it's similar, I guess, to mentor in some ways, but I guess the advisor consultant is being brought in to really to solve a specific problem or challenge. So by definition, they're going to be very sort of problem orientated, whereas in a coaching relationship, you may be very focused on the person. Within a consulting environment, you're very much there to fix or solve a problem. And by definition, then it's your experience, it's your knowledge, it's your problem-solving abilities that are needed. And whereas in a coaching environment, you would never want to judge or tell or even really advise your client, that's exactly what you would be doing as a consultant. You will be telling, you'd be advising, you'd be recommending, you'd be making judgments and calls. So it's almost the antithesis of a coach. And a coach is over here, and it's really about support, and it's around curiosity and exploration, and it's the person who's there to support you. Over here, from a consultant's perspective, you're coming in to solve specific challenges with your knowledge and experience. And I guess the last relationship you might consider is this idea of sort of therapeutic counselling. And again, this is a process by which you're trying to help a client, But I would say therapeutic counselling is much more about looking back and into issues. So there could be past trauma, and you may want to use a counsellor to really explore in some detail those sort of personal issues that are affecting you in today's environment. And again, a very different set of skills, in some cases very highly specialised skills. So I'd always say, as a coach, if I'm working with a client and we are getting into more therapeutic areas where it's about past trauma, I'll always suggest, look, are there other people also that you will want to talk to? Yes, we can continue the coaching because you want this sort of goal-orientated coaching approach, but perhaps there's some things here that you also need to go and look at, and that's where therapeutic counsellors can come in. So my advice generally is seek developmental relationships. People are often very willing to provide those services, sometimes for free. So seeking out mentors in your workplace or your community is just a really good practice generally. I'd say if it was for the coaching, the consulting, and the counselling, this is where you want professionally credited people who really know what they're doing. They already understand how they need to approach things. And I guess that's where there'll be a sort of a financial remuneration required. But I would say it's worth exploring, and I'd say if anyone's interested in getting better at any aspect of their life, building those developmental relationships will be really important. So I hope that helps.